Hey friends, welcome back to another video, and today I'm going to be talking about my first experience shooting with medium format. But before we get into that, I do want to go ahead and thank all of you guys that are subscribed. We hit 30 subscribers the other day, which doesn't sound like a lot, but if you think about it, that's a classroom full of people that I'm talking to. So that's really cool, and thank you all very much. All right, let's jump right in. Today, the camera I'm going to be talking about, as you saw in the title and thumbnail, is going to be the Mamiya RB67. This camera is an absolute monster. It is probably the heaviest camera I've ever held, and I was lucky enough to get my hands on it because my buddy Nate Mitchell, you'll see him a lot in these videos, he and I decided to go shooting one night and never shot medium format, and he said, hey, I got two, let's go ahead and just go out and you can shoot either Portrait 400 or XP2. And you know what, it was his film, so I went ahead and I shot the black and white. He actually was using this camera right here, which is a Veronica Z. It's funny, I have this camera because as soon as I finished taking my last roll, I only shot 2 rolls on the Mamiya. He put it up for sale because he got himself a Pentax. So he's actually letting me borrow this, and we're shooting a video with this guy this weekend. Your hint is there's Cine still 800T in here, so that's gonna be exciting stuff. But anyways, he pulled out the camera from the back of his car and he was showing me how to go through it, how to use the thing, how to load it. And to be honest, it was a little bit confusing at first because it's way more intricate than loading a 35mm camera. Some 120 cameras, you can load some 120mm cameras like the Pentax, you do load it like a 35mm and it's a lot easier. But just like with this guy, you have the removable backs on it right here. So this whole thing comes off and you gotta open it up and then you gotta insert the film in. And it takes a little practice to get it down right away. It is not easy. So anyway, once he showed me all that and we got it all squared away, we went out and we hit the streets. Obviously, the first thing I took was a picture of Nate. And as you can see here, I mean, it's not a bad portrait. I mean, he's backlit, but there's just enough lighting to where everything was evenly lit. So, I mean, it looks pretty nice. I think he's slightly out of focus because the focal plane on 120mm cameras is very thin. We just kept walking further down the street, and then I had to take the classic photographer picture. I found a puddle, and I was like, all right, what reflections can I get in this? And I found this tree. I guess if the branches were a little more in frame and less of the actual trunk, it could have really gone in with the asphalt pretty well. I think it's a cool shot, you know? It's like an upside down tree. Looks like you're looking through almost like a portal to another dimension. And it gives it that look even more so because it is black and white, so there's no, color differential. And pretty much for the rest of the time, we were just walking around a couple alleys to, finish off these rolls. And this one, at first when I was taking it, I was just taking it because, but re-looking at the photo, I really like the shadows and the highlights contrast. It looks really nice with the sun coming in. And then we stopped along at this motel, and it had some nice colors on it, but I still framed it for black and white. And I think they turned out pretty well. I think I like the landscape orientation of these photos more than I like, you know what? I take that back. I actually like the portrait style because you get to see the puddle on the ground, there's reflection in the mirror, just the AC boxes. There's just enough going on to where, I don't know, I thought it was an interesting composition. One thing I did forget to mention is that the reason why it's called RB is that stands for rotating back. So on the RB, unfortunately I can't show you here, but this whole back right here, you just twist it and then it's in portrait mode. And then when you want to shoot landscape mode, you just twist it back. So you don't have to worry about, like doing this and doing this. Anyway, back to the photos. So yeah, I think I only took one more picture of some cars, and then I had to finish up the roll. So I took a couple photos at home. I took one of my wife and then one of Pikes Peak. So I still had one shot left that I needed to use up on the black and white, but I also wanted to try and shoot color with it. So I hit up my good buddy Caleb, asked him if he wanted to go on a photo walk, and that's exactly what we did. So the last black and white photo I took was actually of Caleb at a coffee shop, and right after I took that, I spent about 30 minutes figuring out how to unwind and then re-put in the new film. Oh yes, another quirk with this camera, another callback. Most cameras, when you take a picture and you advance the film, what it does is it resets the mirror in most 120. And in the Mamiya RB, it doesn't do that. You have one lever on the side and you have one lever in the back, and the one on the side resets the big mirror to take another photo, and the one on the back actually advances the film. So if you don't advance the film, you'll just get a bunch of double exposures or triple exposures. Anyways, we're getting back to the story, y'all. So after finally loading the color film into the back after 20 minutes, we were all ready to go. So I believe I was shooting portrait 160, and we just went ahead and started walking around downtown. And I'll tell you what, I didn't take a lot of clips. I'm sorry, y'all, but you know, when you're out filming and then you forget to film, it's because you're having a good time. And I definitely was. So we're just gonna go through these photos right here. Caleb, having a good time?
I'm having a blast.
So when you're looking through these prisms, these things are, it looks unreal how clear and clean it looks. It's amazing. So after going on those couple photo walks and having the Mamiya for about, I think it was a week and a half, I really liked shooting medium format. It was really fun, and the Mamiya was really cool, and I learned how to meter light with an actual light meter instead of using the one in my camera, because the Mamiya is all mechanical, doesn't have a light meter with it. So it was a really neat experience to go through that whole process with it. However, it was an extremely heavy camera, like I said at the beginning, and it just, I had to have a strap, and for people that carry that thing around and take photos without a strap or with a strap, it doesn't matter. I congratulate you, because that thing is massive. I got the medium format itch, and you know, I had to scratch it, so I went ahead and I purchased my own medium format camera, and I already recorded a video on it with Nate, and the photos that we got from it, they're pretty good. I am actually really happy with them, so stay tuned for that video coming out soon. I got a few more videos in the works, and if you haven't already, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button. It really helps me out. Thank you to everyone again who's been subscribed already. It really helps out a lot, and I will see you guys in the next video, and until then, goodbye.